Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to another video game review. In preparation for Elden Ring that comes out at the end of the month, I figured why not finish off my Soulsborne reviews with the finale, or the grand finale of the Dark Souls trilogy, Dark Souls 3. I'm not counting Sekiro as a Soulsborne game because that's in a different world, and there's different combat styles, and I don't really count that as part of the Soulsborne universe. Because it's not really that much of an RPG. Like, you can't, you don't level up or anything like that. Plus, you can jump in that game, and there's the grappling hook, and you can't change your character. I don't count it as a Soulsborne game. That's not to say it's not a great game, because it is. But I consider Dark Souls 3 to be the last of the Dark Souls or Soulsborne games. I'll count Demon Souls and Bloodborne because they have similar playstyles, but Sekiro I don't really count. But Dark Souls 3, exactly like the last two games, you explore a massive apocalyptic world, and of course you explore various worlds throughout your journey, facing off against more extremely tough enemies. So it's basically exactly like the first two games. They pretty much have the same storyline, just with and the same gameplay, just with different new worlds. So it's basically, you could say that it's basically Dark Souls 2.5, and Dark Souls 2 could be Dark Souls 1.5, but they're not, because they have different stuff going on in them. They don't use the same enemies. They use a bunch of different new enemies here, just like Dark Souls 2 has, there's these really annoying ones with, where if you get too close to them, your health meter starts to drop, not permanently, but, there's just a bunch of new enemies that are really going to irritate you. Just like its predecessors, this game is hard as hell, but honestly, that's what makes the Dark Souls games so much fun, is their difficulty. I mean, they're pretty much infamous for that, but it's basically, despite their frustrating difficulty, they're the type of games that I just never wanted to quit on, and I didn't, especially not with this. And after playing Dark Souls 3, just spending so much hours with it, it might be my favorite of the entire Dark Souls trilogy. I still consider Bloodborne as my all-time favorite in terms of the Soulsborne series, but in terms of the Dark Souls trilogy, I think Dark Souls 3 might just be the best one for me. Because what's great about this game is, unlike the last two games, the bosses in the last two games didn't really have that many second phases. They mostly just had one phase. But ever since Bloodborne came out, they started to boost up with the second phases a lot. And when it comes to the second phases and bosses, you are not prepared at all, unless you've grinded so much that you managed to make it a cakewalk for yourself. But right here, when it comes to the second phases, they really test your patience and how far you manage to get through in the Dark Souls series. That's basically why there are so many second phases in the third Dark Souls game, is because players have come a long way into the series, and the fact that they managed to get past so much, if you actually manage to get past these games, then the game really tests your patience. And the fact that it's the last entry in the series, then basically it just really tests how great you managed to become throughout these games. And they're incredible too. The bosses in this game probably have some of the best bosses in the series. Out of all three of the games, this one probably has the best bosses. Like, the Nameless King, just, oh my god, okay. The Nameless King, it's probably my favorite of the Dark Souls, or the third Dark Souls game. Despite how gruelingly frustrating it is, it was just so satisfying once I managed to beat that thing. Like, I had, no more health, and I was just this close to beating it, so it just really tested my patience. I really wanted to get that boss finished, and once I finished the boss, it was just so satisfying to see. And the game actually has throwbacks to the first game a little bit. Like, you go back to Anor Londo, and there are costumes you can get, or armor sets you can get. Like, you can get like Ornstein armor and Smaug armor, and you can get like their weapons. It was just so much fun to use, and it has new weapons too that are just so satisfying and feel so good to use. And its lore and its storytelling, its environmental storytelling is all still there, and it all looks absolutely phenomenal. This is probably the best looking game in the Dark Souls trilogy. It's easily the most open, and it has. I think Dark Souls 2 has a little bit more content because out of all the games, Dark Souls 2 has the most bosses. But in terms of the content and all the stuff that it has to offer, I think this one has the most in terms of its open world. I mean, of course, the Dark Souls games are still linear, but in terms of its world, I think this one is by far the most open ended. And what I love the most about this game and Dark Souls 2 is that once you finish both of the games, there's still stuff you can do after the credits. Like, it doesn't reset you all the way back to the beginning like Dark Souls 1 did. You can actually do stuff once you're done beating the game before you can do New Game Plus, which is something that I'm super thankful for. Demon Souls didn't have that, but the game is shorter than the other games. But I was just still relieved because I wanted to do the DLC after, because I just wanted to get the story done first, which I did manage to do before I did the DLC. I did get the DLC. I haven't nearly finished any of the DLC, but that's to be expected because the bosses in the DLC are probably harder than all the bosses in the mainline game. But yeah, Dark Souls 3, I don't really know what there is else to say. If players manage to get past the first two games, then they managed to go a really long way with the third game here. Its lore and the bosses, it's all at its very best here. And this is how you end a fantastic gaming trilogy. Everything is there. It has great throwbacks to the original game, the very first game, and the bosses are just as challenging as ever, especially with their second phases. This is just a phenomenal game, and it kind of gets a little bit better the more that I think about it. It certainly still has its moments of frustration, like unfair frustration. Like, it still has its annoying moments with its new enemies and stuff, but that's to be expected. And there are definitely some times where you just want to give up on the game, but you immediately want to come back to it. But I guess there are a couple of bosses that are a little bit too easy, and there are a little bit of bosses that are a bit too hard. But either way, this is still an amazing game, and it's probably my favorite out of the Dark Souls games, specifically the Dark Souls trilogy, not specifically the entire Soulsborne series. But yeah, Dark Souls 3 is an epic conclusion to a fantastic series, and I don't know what there is more to say about it. I absolutely love Dark Souls 3. So that is it. I actually managed to beat all three of these games. I actually beat all of them last year. I beat this game last year. I'm reviewing it right now because Elden Ring is about to come out. I'm really looking forward to Elden Ring, but there's still so many other games coming out in February that I also want to play. I'm still playing Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'm not anywhere near done with that game yet. And Dying Light 2 comes out this week, and Horizon Forbidden West comes out in a couple weeks. And there's a lot of movies I want to see. Moonfall and Jackass Forever I'll be seeing this weekend. So yeah, February is going to be a crazy month. So yeah, I'm reviewing an older game, but there's a bunch of newer games that are coming out that I want to play and want to try to review, but it's going to be a while because, again, still working and stuff like that. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.